Okay, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you about bartering in hyperinflation in Romania, and hopefully, maybe you'll learn something. Okay, so the question comes up, what's the best bartering tool in case, the economy is in shambles and you really need to use bartering in order to get by? What would be the best thing to barter with, right? That's a question that comes up many times on the channel. And here's the deal. The best thing to barter with is what the other person needs. You have to figure out what the other person needs. If you're in a prepper community, you have to think about what they didn't prepare for, right? Now, ideally, you would want them to let them know, right? Because they're your friends, so help them in that. But if they still didn't prepare, you're gonna have something in your toolkit to barter with, right? And the thing is that you have to be smart about it. You can't just show up on a place where nobody knows you with silver quarters. They will know that you have more somewhere, right? In those cases, it's much easier to barter with ammo, because at least, if you have some ammo, most likely they have some as well. They maybe need different calibers. Maybe they just have more food than ammo. It's just, you want to barter with something that they have, something that you have, and you kind of want to balance it out, right? In cases where you don't know people, some most common items that was common before it hit the fan and after it hit the fan, some common item that everybody knows that it has value is a pretty okay thing to barter with. A pack of smokes, alcohol, ammo, chocolate bars, that sort of stuff. If you don't know the people, it's going to be much easier to barter with that. So start with, can I use my precious metals to barter in these types of situations? Yes, maybe, if you use it carefully, right? For instance, I always say it's much easier to barter with wedding rings, right? If you have 2 pairs of wedding rings, 3 pairs, 4 pairs of wedding rings, especially made for barter in the SHTF whatever situation, nobody knows how many wedding rings you have, right? You can just come up with one wedding ring. This is my wedding ring, and may I have some this for this, and so on and so forth. And you can walk away, right, if you don't get the right price for it. So it's much easier to show up on an unknown place or people you rarely know with a wedding ring instead of gold coins. So you have to know about that. And in those cases, just stick to powdered milk, chocolate, smokes, some alcohol. Although I try to stay away from alcohol too much, because you're really just giving them something that is not really for the benefit, But anyway, if that's a tool that you can barter with. So that sort of stuff. Very good thing to barter with is cans of food, especially like chunky tuna or protein powder, protein bars, that sort of stuff. Emergency food supply kits, another really good thing. So on the backside of this, what can we learn from this, right? You want to make sure that you don't need something that much, like really much, because if you need that, then somebody gonna use that tool against you. Well, not necessarily against you, but they're gonna hike up the price of that thing that you really need, right? So the first and foremost, you want to stack up on stuff that you need, so you don't need to barter for stuff that you're gonna need. So that's where prepping comes in, right? But if you want to stack something more that you can get away or give away in these types of situation, is gonna be cans of food, smokes, alcohol, wedding rings, ammo, and that sort of stuff, right? Gloves was a really good one. Hand tools, if you have more. You just need to make sure that the thing is with these preppers is that you want to make sure that you only accumulate stuff that if nothing happens, right? Or if things don't go the way that you think they're gonna go, then you can still roll it into your pantry. You see, you can still go to the range and shoot your own ammo. So you don't want to stack up too much of the stuff that you are not gonna need in your everyday life. You want to stay with the brands. Honestly, you want to stay with the brands that you think that you're gonna consume anyway, right? So, for instance, we don't eat too much canned food, but we buy some canned food, and what we do is we just, if we didn't use it within a year, then we just give it away anyway for the food banks or these food runs or whatever, and then just buy new ones, right? So make sure you give them away while you have the expiration date is still okay and they still have ample time to consume it. But you can have something like a rolling food giveaway, right? And you just stack some up, and then maybe half a year from now you give some away. Every year we give away, and then we replenish, right? So that is something to think about, because if not, it's just going to be stuck on you. Like, you can't have 52 pairs of gloves, right? Nobody's going to use that. But if you want to buy gloves enough for the rest of your life, right, maybe that's not such a bad idea. Maybe you want to pack up some shoes, that sort of stuff. Also, things that think about, for instance, things that we are importing. I know it's a big list right now, but things that we don't produce here in the US, and things that you need materials for that are hard to get. So if you're a machinist, think about, like, in your field, what do you have, right? And you're gonna use them anyway. What can you have? So that sort of stuff. You gotta think. You gotta think within your circle, within your expertise. Try to stay within your expertise. Another good thing that you can trade with, if the electric grid is still up, is, I think, crypto. But you gotta watch out what you're doing, right? And you gotta stick to the coins that you know. And one thing to note here is that with chain explorers, blockchain explorers, everyone can figure out in some coins like Bitcoin Cash, and the others, how much you have on your wallet. So you want to make sure that you have trading wallets where you don't have too much, right? And that's all they can see, right? Or even better yet, use in these cases something like Pirate Chain, Monero, Zcash, or something like that. But the thing is that if the coin price went up significantly, right, and they're gonna know that you probably have more. And the other thing is that even now, we don't have to get into bad situations. Even now, things happen where these Bitcoin millionaires flash their wealth and eventually get attacked somewhere in the wrong places of the world. So I'm not I don't think accumulating too much crypto then flashing it is a good idea. That's absolutely horrible. Why do you even have access to your crypto, right? In the first place. Super easy to just not even have access to it, or lock it away for X amount of years, X amount of time. So try to do that. But then again, think smart, right? That's probably not going to be as good as, in some cases, as just cans of food. So you have to think smart about it. And many cases, precious metals and that sort of stuff, they're not really the best cases. The best use cases for them is to barter, unless you're bartering with friends or people or you're just unloading it to a bank or unloading it at a coin shop or something like that when the prices went up, right, significantly. So you gotta pay attention to safety first, and you gotta use your mind. You know, it's not gonna be, I just stack this one thing and then I'll be able to unload it and then I'll be rich. You know, you have to be strategic. You have to be strategic in where you store it, where you can't get to it, or maybe in different jurisdiction, maybe in a different country in my case, right? So there's like, you don't need instant access to these kind of stuff, and it's preferred that you don't have instant access, right? And maybe there's like, you don't even have access, right? There's reasons why in ICBMs, missiles, you know, there's two keys. It's just one, there's two, and two people, right? It's super easy to just split a seed phrase or something like that in crypto and store it in different places or store it with different people, right? So you gotta first and foremost work on your network, work on your trust, and be smart about it. But if you have any specific questions, I'm more than happy to answer if I can. So let me know. All right, bye.